Happy Sunday, and welcome to Dave's After Hours Trivia Club, broadcasting live from the cozy corners of Curiosity Central. Grab your favorite drink, find a comfy spot, and do settle in. Tonight isn't just about trivia, it's about curiosity, memory, and the thrill of discovering something you didn't know that you already knew. Around here, we mix things up with a dash of fun, a pinch of nostalgia, and just enough mystery to keep you guessing. We usually go live on Sundays and most of the time on Wednesdays as well at 7 p.m. Eastern and 4 p.m. Pacific time. So mark your calendars and don't be a stranger. Now, while our robots painters bring each mystery subject to life, I will be serving up the clues, and you will be tossing out your guesses in the chat. And together, we'll try to outwit the brush. Tonight's categories. We're going to do the top 20 movie comedy duos, 20th century. Top 20 greatest Western movies of all time. That should be fun. And then we do have a third category tonight. Top 20 favorite dessert dishes of the Western culture. And hey, don't forget to visit davidhansonart.com. That happens to be me. And it happens to have all this cover art that you've been seeing. And you can snag some of the art from tonight's show. Every piece tells a story, and now some of them can hang on your wall. Or be a towel or a coffee mug. Okay, well, say hi in the chat. I see some early birds. We got King in the house. Sandra's here. Arena's here. Good to see the early birds have arrived. This is where you'll be throwing out your guesses, or you can just lurk if you prefer. Now let's cue up our first round. We're going to fire up the robots and let the games begin. If I can find the file. All right, here we go. Alrighty now. You know the rules around here. Robots do the painting, you do the guessing, and I give the clues. So again, our first category is the top 20 movie comedy duos of the 20th century. I think it's movies and TV, actually. So, movies and TV. Comedy duos. I think you'll get all these. Now, there are a mix of US and British. There's a lot of UK stuff in here, so good luck. Number 20. This pair rolled into pop culture with mellow vibes and even foggier surroundings. They became unlikely box office stars despite or because of their constant haze. Their sketches leaned heavily on counterculture music and giggle fits. Yes, King knows. Oh, I can remember some funny movies. Their sketches leaned heavily on counterculture, music, and giggle fits. One of their most iconic films is basically a road trip powered by smoke. Do you remember their first big hit movie? Yeah, King had that suspiciously fast. Anybody remember the name of their first? Yeah, Sandra. Correct. Up in Smoke wasn't just a movie title. It was practically a lifestyle. In real life, Chief Cheech Marin became an avid art collector. He could have got some of davidhansonart.com stuff. I guess he's still around. He still could. And Tommy Chong went on to star in the 70s show. There they are, Cheech and Chong. Yeah, funny movies. Especially if you were part of the counterculture movement. like I was in college. All right, number 19. These two are rarely the main act, but they always steal the scene. One talks a lot, the other not at all. Their first appearance was in a New Jersey convenience store. They became pop culture staples across Kevin Smith's View Ask Universe. Yeah, you know this one. Very good. Very good. Comedy duos, of course. Snoochie Boochies. It's the duo that brought chaos to Clerks, Mole Rats, and more. Yes, you are correct. This is Jay and Silent Bob. Jay and Silent Bob. Who knows when Jay and Silent Bob were born? They were both born the same year. Anybody got a guess how old they are? What year were they born? Silent Bob, though quiet on screen, is actually played by writer-director Kevin Smith himself. And yes, he's got opinions, just not always in character. Well, they're not quite that yet. 1970. They're both each born in 1970. And of course, time flies when we're having fun, right? All right, you'll know this duo, famous duo. Their chemistry was so electric, it practically rewired mid-century comedy. 1960s. One was a slick crooner, the other a whirlwind of slapstick chaos. Together, they conquered radio, stage, TV, and film in the 1940s and 50s and 60s. I guess they actually appeared in the 40s. Can you believe that? I don't think Lucy's on this one. Lucy! Sandra's got it. When Martin played it cool and Lewis went wild, America laughed hard. And you are correct. This is Mr. Dean Martin and Mr. Jerry Lewis. Though their split was headline drama, they famously reunited on live TV in the 70s, thanks to Frank Sinatra. Interesting, huh? Yeah, Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis, they were in lots of movies. They made TV appearances, the whole 9 yards. There they are. Much drama, yes. Jerry Lewis was all about drama, it seemed like. I don't know. All right, let's go to the UK. They brought British absurdism to your television with a touch of Oxford. One would later become Dr. House, the others known for Q1 or QI and witty novels. The Q1 or QI. Their sketches often mock bureaucracy, politics, and overblown drama. Before House and Jeeves, they were a bit of brilliance. All right. Okay, King, we're going to look for you to get this one for us. It's Hugh and Stefan, those clever lads from a bit of... I don't think they were... I don't think they were Monty Python. A bit of Fry and Laurie. Fry and Laurie. Doesn't sound familiar, huh? They're my age. 65-ish. Fry and Laurie. Born in 1957 and 1959. Laurie's musical talent often snuck into their routines and later bloomed into full-blown blues albums. So they were the original Blues Brothers. There you go. All right. Yes. Stephen Fry. Correct. All right. Let's move on. Number 16. These guys are funny. They proved that you don't have to be smart to ace history. Their speech was heavy on dude and light on punctuation. Here's the key clues. Time travel plus air guitar equals historical excellence. Socrates, Genghis Khan, and Joan of Arc joined their homework project. So these guys traveled through time. And they met up with Genghis and Joan, Socrates. Yes. And who were the actors that played Bill and Ted? Bill and Ted is correct. Yeah. Bill and Ted was played by, I bet you'll know one of them. Although he was very young back there. Despite their slacker rep, Bill and Ted's excellent adventure inspired actual teachers to use it as a fun intro to history. Keanu! And, bet you don't know the other guy, Alex Winter. Keanu and Alex Winter. Yes, very good. All right, number 15. They always forget the other guy. Okay, British. They're Britain's queens of parody, taking the mix of everything from pop to prestige drama. Their bond sparked countless collaborations, including one involving Absolutely Fabulous. Of the show, right? Known for mimicking Madonna, Titanic, and Lord of the Rings. French is correct, and maybe her first name was Dawn, but I'm looking for her last name. French is correct. There you go, King. That is correct. Sandra, Steve Martin. Does it look like Steve? I don't know, I guess. Yeah, you had her first name. Dawn, and the other one's first name is Jennifer. So Dawn and Jennifer, French and Saunders, reign supreme in sketch comedy. Their Lord of the Rings spoof had them swapping hobbits for handbags. Middle Earth was never sassier. French and Saunders. Yeah. First name. Was it Dawn French, though, and Jennifer Saunders? All right. 14. Let's go back in time a little bit. Their humor was so dry, it needed a lifeguard. They made deadpan an art form, long before it was cool. Radio was their main stage, but TV gave them even more space to underwhelm. Deadpan. Their show, kind of like mine, their slow, surreal satire poked fun at interviews and news formats. Now this is going back in time, and I am blocking in a bit. I don't know, I could probably help you just... Now I'm back. Not Laurel and Hardy. Hang on to that one, though. It's Bob Elliott and Ray Goulding, and they were famous for minimalism meets maximum hilarity. Bob and Ray. You know, I vaguely remember the name even, but this is even before my time. Bob's son, Chris Elliott, continued the family comedy legacy with roles in Get a Life, Schitt's Creek, and SNL. Do you know the guy Chris Elliott? That's the comedy actor. So he's the son. Yeah, I was a little too young for that too. All right, here we go. This sounds British as well. The Christmas specials were a bigger British tradition than pudding. These guys did Christmas shows. One wore glasses, the other wore exasperation. Their skits balance physical comedy with punchline precision. They roasted celebrities and conducted off-key musicals like pros. Off-key, I could do that. This was Britain's beloved duo. Do you remember these guys? Christmas specials. Now it is back a bit. One of them passed in '84, one of them passed in '99. So this is probably in the 50s and 60s. Abercrombie and Wise. More Abercrombie and Wise. That sound familiar to anybody? They once got Andre Previn to play all the right notes, but not necessarily in the right order. Kind of looks like Steve Allen. I didn't know these guys, so I'll have to say. But you know, we're learning something, right? These are a famous comedy duo. Okay, don't forget it, because it'll come up as a lightning round sometime. All right, I think you've heard of these guys. This is back in time, but they were big. They made wordplay into high-speed art. So these guys were famous for fast-talking skits. Straight Man and Goofball textbook example. The Naughty 90s wasn't just a film title, it was an era-defining vibe. Monsters, baseball, and mix-ups. These two had it all. Not Laurel and Hardy. Do you guys remember something called Who's on First? Who's on first? What's on second? Yeah. Doctor's in the house with the bullet. Thank you, doctor. Like I always say, it's good to have a doctor in the house when you're talking about comedy duos. Abbott and Costello. There they are. They were kind of big, huh? The classic sketch, Who's on First, is in the Baseball Hall of Fame in the Library of Congress. That's double immortality. There they go. All right, time to number 11, and I know you're gonna know the rest of them for sure. We had a couple little obscure British ones there for you. You're putting on him. He's old. Excuse me, so I got a little cough lingering, but I'm pretty much set. You know these guys. They wore black suits, sunglasses, and a mission from God. A musical act that started as a Saturday Night Live skit. Started as a skit. Car chases, soul legends, and fried chicken. That movie had it all. Yeah, you guys know this one. Of course. Jake and Elwood were on a divine mission to save an orphanage. You remember that part of the story? All right, so we're getting a little more information here. Yeah. We're getting all the information. It is the Blues Brothers, loud, loyal, and legendary. And of course, it is John Belushi, not Jim. John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd. Yeah, very good. Their car chases through a shopping mall was once the most expensive stunt ever filmed. They drove a car through a shopping mall. I guess they just left all the stuff there and drove it through there, and that's why it was expensive. All right. All right, let's do the top 10. What do you say? Top 10 comedy duos. This one sounds kind of British too. More modern though. Their comedy flips from sharp social commentary to sheer absurdity in a heartbeat. Their sketches feature everything from angry valets to sensitive zombies. One of them is now a blockbuster horror director. Huh. The other pops up everywhere from Pixar to sketch spoofs. Doctor! Their sketch about substitute teachers introduced the world to Aaron. 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 However, that's right. It's Key and Peele, the modern masters of sketch. There you go. There they are. Modern masters of sketch. Jordan Peele once said their goal was highbrow ideas with lowbrow delivery. And they nailed it. Highbrow ideas with lowbrow delivery. Kay and Peele. Kay and Peele. There they are. That's it. They're all right. They're all right. You know these guys. They critiqued music videos with more grunts than grammar. Fire, TP, and nachos fueled their adolescent existence. Their animation was crude, but the satire was sneaky smart. Their names are nearly synonymous with 90s MTV. Of course. Anybody know who he actually voiced both characters? Anybody know the voice of both characters? That's an obscure bit of trivia. Dumb has never been so endearing. It's Beavis and Butthead. You are correct. The pair were revived for Gen Z, proving that low IQ humor is ironically timeless. And anyway, the same guy voiced both characters. Anybody know who that is? For bonus 100 trivia points. Oh, King, how'd you do that? Mike Judge is correct. Wow. Very good. Very good. Mike Judge. I don't know how you got that, but we'll give it to you. 100 points. 100 Curiosity Corner points. All right, number 8. Magic meets sarcasm in this spellbinding double act. So they were both comedians and magicians. One talks constantly, the other hasn't spoken on stage since the 70s. Their illusions often expose the trick while still blowing your mind. All right. Who knows this one? They've headlined Vegas and Busted Myths with Flair. Yeah, they were in Vegas for years. They had that huge poster on the side of the Rio Hotel for 20 years. Correct, Keith. You got it. Yeah, that's what it is. Despite their persona, both are trained in classic sleight of hand. And Teller has a voice. He just saves it for interviews. And Teller is correct. Yeah. Comedians and magicians. And a great Vegas act. Yeah, I'd say they were there for 20 years. They are. They keep their backs to each other. I wonder what's up with that. They're probably sick of each other. All right. Top 7. Here we go. Oh, you'll remember these guys. They sang, quipped, and bumbled their way around the globe. The Road to films were part travelogue, part roast. One had a golf swing, the other had a golden voice. Wartime entertainers and kings of mid-century banter. So these guys were huge in the 40s and the 50s, and I think one of them went on to a solo career in the 60s. Well, so the one on the left, Sandra has, who was his partner? That's right, Doctor. That's right, Doctor. It was an unlikely duo, but they were in, I don't know, how many road movies were there? Road 2, Road 2, Road 2. Bob Hope and Bing Crosby, of course, is correct. Their on-screen chemistry was matched by real friendship and a fierce rivalry over golf scores. So they were big-time rivals on the golf course. I can see that. Bob Hope and Bing Crosby. You think there were 12 movies, Doctor? Wow. Gonna have to watch them all. Highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. Number 6. They defined sitcom sidekick before it was a thing. Plans were always wild. The other tried and failed to slow her down. Their chemistry powered the most iconic TV show of the 1950s and early 60s. Whether it was chocolates or grape stuffing, they were in it together. Yes, it is what Doctor says, and their real names were. The chocolate factory is priceless. The conveyor belt's going too fast. They first succeed by just eating a few of them, and then it gets out of hand. Who knows? Who remembers? Who remembers their actual names? I mean, Doctor had an Ethel and Lucy. That's correct. There you go, Doctor. All right. You got it. Lucille Ball on the left and Vivian Vance on the right is correct. Though their characters bickered often, the actresses were close friends. Vance once called Ball the best friend I ever had. There you go. I think these guys were probably friends too. They played opposites so well, it became their signature. Slob versus neat freak. Grub versus sweetheart. Comedy gold. They clashed in their TV show that I'll let you guess, but they clicked on screen. Their collaboration spanned decades and stayed fresh. Okay, you got the characters. So who were the real people and what was the show? Yeah. Oh, it was, of course, a movie first. It was a movie first. And then I think a different actor played the role of Oscar or Felix. Yeah, there you go. It is The Odd Couple. It is Oscar and Felix, and the two guys in the movie were Tony Randall. Tony Randall played the TV series, but this particular picture is from the movie. So it was different actors. Different actors in the movie. Jack Klugman played Oscar in the TV show. And in the movie, it was Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau. Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau in the movie. That's who that was. The picture was of. Very complicated. Number 4. You didn't know it was going to get so complicated, did you? Weekend update, award shows, and sisterly sex. They met in improv class. Then they conquered comedy together. Smart, silly, and unafraid to go full weird on live TV. From SNL to Baby Mama, they bring brains and belly laughs. All right. So who's this? Well, so King's got one of them. The one on the left usually has blonde hair. That's helpful. Think Parks and Recreation. Their shared hosting gigs at the Golden Globes made viewers wish they hosted everything forever. That's true. They did such a good job hosting the Golden Globes one time. It's like, they should just do everything. Yes, there you go. Okay, we've got them both now. Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. Yeah. And Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. There you go. Okay, we're on the top 3. Rarefied Air. This is an unlikely duo, but they sure were. One was all fire, the other's all twitchy. That's kind of funny. Together, they brought chaos to capers and heart to hygiene. Their films blended slapstick, social tension, and pure chemistry. Silver Streak, Stir Crazy, and See No Evil, Hear No Evil were all huge box office hits. The ultimate wild card duo. Who remembers? Who remembers? He's got one of them. There you go. That's right. Did you know they were in a bunch of movies together? They did a lot of stuff together. It was such an unlikely duo, right? Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder. Yeah, very good. Sandra with the full correct answer. Thank you. Off camera, they were close friends also, though their creative clashes were legendary as well. So they used to fight about the bits. How about that? I can see that. I can see that. Of course, back in the day, there were perhaps some drugs involved in the fights. All right, top 2. They perfected the art of misunderstanding. Their banter was charming, quick, and decades ahead of its time. Now, she played the ditz, but was razor sharp off stage. They transitioned from vaudeville to radio and then on to TV without missing a beat. Now, this was a married couple. Yeah, Glendra. That's correct. She, of course, went by her other name, her full name. Who remembers? Who remembers the details? Cedric, last time you gave me the full correct answer, not the short doctor answer. The timeless couple that built comedy on Loves and Laughs. When she retired, George stopped performing with anyone else for years. Yeah, there you go. It was, okay, George Burns, right? And her name was Gracie Allen. Gracie Allen. She actually had a career of her own. Did you know that? Stand-up comedy. There you go. George Burns and Gracie Allen. All right. Well, that leaves us one duo that I'm sure you know. Bowler hats, wide-eyed stares, and perfectly timed disasters. One was rotund and pompous. The other was skinny and confused. Kind of the pre-Jerry Lewis. Their silent films were anything but quiet in the laughs department. There you go. Of course, everybody knows this. Physical comedy, catchphrases, and emotional charm set them apart. And that's right, it is Laurel and Hardy. Laurel and Hardy. Laurel and Hardy, the gold standard of screen comedy duos. Stan Laurel kept writing gags long after retirement and even personally answered fan mail from home. There you go. Laurel and Hardy. Big in the silent era. You guys still watch? You guys still watch some Laurel and Hardy? I think I do. I think I've seen it. Three Stooges, too, of course. Three Stooges. We didn't have a 3 category, or the Three Stooges would have been on top. All right, well, you guys did pretty good at those. Those are fun. All right? All right. Now, I do have an intermission lightning round for you tonight. And it is going to be based on a recent show. So the lightning round will be Robert De Niro movies. So you'll have 2 minutes to type as many names as possible. Go. Alrighty. Well, seems like you did pretty good between the Between the team, I think we got most of those. Did you miss any? I think you, I think you got them all. You guys ready to do round two? Let's do the top 20 greatest Western films. So this should be fun, and there'll be a couple that'll be hard. Most of them will be pretty easy. Here we go. Alrighty. I think most of you know the rules. Around here, the robots paint, and that means you folks do the guessing in the chat. And I do give some clues in an attempt to confuse you along the way. I do my best. Top 20 greatest Western films. Top 20 greatest Western films. Here we go. We'll start hard. Number 20. A stranger rides into town, and that changes everything. The frontier's under threat, and only one quiet man stands in the way. That's the name of the movie. It's got wide vistas, clean gunfights, and a kid who won't stop yelling a name. He tries to leave violence behind, but trouble won't let him leave it behind. Now the famous line is, "No, Doctor knows. Come back, Shane! Come back, Shane!" Is one of cinema's most famous pleas. Who knows who played Shane? Anybody know the actor? We haven't heard his name on our show, actually, ever. His height was allegedly under 5'6", so filmmakers dug trenches to keep the co-stars a little lower next to him. Well, it would have been easier to build a little mound for him and then the other actors. Oh, it was before Paul Newman. This is way back in the day. Way back in the day. This is Alan Ladd. Alan Ladd playing Shane. 1953. 1953. Alan Ladd. All right, you'll know this one. Number 19. Number 19. This is a buddy western that feels more like a buddy comedy, but it has a body count. A buddy comedy with a body count. Outlaws, train robberies, and some very memorable bicycle riding. I got a story about that. I got a personal story about that. One's a smooth-talking schemer, the other a silent sharpshooter. Their escape to Bolivia doesn't go quite as planned. All right, there it is. We see the answer on the board. Dr. Sandra? King? Everybody's got it. And the actors were, everybody knows the actors, right? You know all three actors. Who knows all three actors in the picture? The film's freeze frame ending is legendary and was copied endlessly in pop culture for decades. The ending was copied. Oh, Doctor has Alan Ladd from way back. Alan Ladd was not in this one. That was last one. You got like a memory core there. Yes, of course. Paul Newman, Robert Redford, and what was her name? Oh, well. How soon we all forget. All right, number 18. Somebody could throw her name out there in a minute for me because I'm blanking. It's the Old West version of a samurai classic. Oh, it wasn't Ally McGraw. She looks like Ally McGraw. Was it? I don't believe it was Ellie McGraw. Maybe. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think so, though. Perhaps. Okay, so you know the movie. Doctor. Very good. Who's the main actor there in the front? Who knows that? They fight not for gold, but for honor. It's the American take on Seven Samurai. And yes, you are correct. This is the Magnificent Seven. The Magnificent Seven. One of the top westerns of all time. It's the other bald guy. It's the other one, Doctor. It's the other bald guy. You would have thought Telly, probably, right? Telly's in the war movies for sure. How about Yul Brynner? Yul Brynner. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. All right, let's go to 17. Now this story's been told a lot of times, but this was like when westerns made a comeback. There's a mustache per minute ratio here that's off the charts. Everybody's got good mustaches in this movie. Gunfights, gambling, and an ailing doc with a killer drawl. I'm your Huckleberry. I'm your Huckleberry. Became a meme long before memes existed. Yes, very good, Doctor. All right, now, who remembers a couple of the actors in this movie? Who remembers the actors? Wyatt Earp brings law and vengeance to a chaotic town, of course. And this actor's Doc Holliday is so beloved, he arguably outshined all previous versions of the real-life gambler gunfighter. It was everybody's favorite Doc Holliday. Was Powers Booth in it? Maybe. I don't remember Powers Booth in it, but he might have been. Who played Wyatt Earp, though? Yeah, Val Kilmer played Doc Holliday. And who played Wyatt? Who played Wyatt? Maybe it's a surprise. Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell, how about that? There you go. All right, 16, let's go back in time a little bit. I'm going to give you the date. 1948, okay? 1948. A cattle drive goes south, emotionally and geographically. It's part coming of age and part father-son standoff movie. Now this is a Howard Hawks. I don't know if you remember Howard Hawks being a big Western guy. Well, actually a big movie guy. Howard Hawks directs John Wayne in one of his darkest early roles. So John was not a good guy necessarily in this movie. And a young Montgomery Clift challenges the Duke himself. Not the Virginians. Not the Virginians. So Montgomery Clift, remember Montgomery Clift was the guy who was like on a rocket trajectory probably after this movie, and he got in a bad car accident, ruined his face. This is what. Hang on to that, Sandra. We're going to end up with something like that. So you're on the right track, Doctor. It's a name like Big Valley, but it's not Big Valley. It's a name kind of like that. Peter, welcome. You are correct. Thank you. The team thanks you. Red River is correct. Red River, big, good movie. I don't know, did it win an Oscar? I think it might have. The film's branding scene was so intense, censors almost gave it a restricted rating for being too realistic. Oh, they did a little branding in it. I like that. They thought it was too rough. All right, maybe you guys remember this one now. This has two famous actors in it. It opens with a funeral and unravels a legend. A senator recalls a life-changing moment in a dusty town. One man used a gun, the other the law, and both helped shape the West. All right, now do you recognize those two actors? First of all, I think you might, and then the movie. A senator recalls a life-changing moment in a dusty town. When legend becomes fact, and print the legend. Once upon a time in the West. I like that answer, but that's not correct. Despite being about youth and legacy, the leads were well into their 50s and 60s during the movie. This was filmed in 1962. That's Jimmy Stewart. Hell yes. And that is John Wayne. Yeah, okay. And the movie was called, I think Clint Eastwood was in it too. The Man Who Shot Liberty Vance. The Man Who Shot Liberty Vance. There you go. Learn something every day in Dave's Curiosity Corner. Now, this is one of all of our favorites. I know it's one of my favorites. Revenge fuels this loner, but humanity slowly creeps back in. He spits tobacco with a sniper-like precision. A Civil War survivor turned rebel with a moral code. Now, Clint Eastwood stars, not the High Plains Drifter, and he also directs in this gritty redemption tale. He rides for revenge and finds reluctant kinship along the way. Now, Eastwood actually had to fire the original director and took it over halfway through the movie. No, nobody's got it yet. It's the other one. It's the other famous one. He wore that cool hat in all of them. Yeah. This is 1976, and this is The Outlaw, Josie Wales. The Outlaw, Josie Wales. There he is. This is early in the movie there. Yeah. Oh, he wears that hat in all of them. It was Eastwood's directorial debut, actually. So there you go. One of the top westerns of all time. Yeah, we're down to number 13. Here we go. Now, you probably have heard of this one. I think it won like Best Picture of the Year, maybe. 9 strangers, one dangerous ride through Apache territory. A whiskey dock, a fallen woman, of course, and a gentleman gambler share the space. This journey was a breakthrough for ensemble storytelling. And it introduced the Western to real character drama. Oh, and it also made a star of a very young John Wayne. Okay, who remembers this one? Can you tell what the picture's of yet? Like, I'm kind of blocking part of it. Sorry. You're gonna have to live with that. There you go, Doctor. That is correct. Who remembers the famous? There's a famous story. There's a famous story about Orson Welles. Orson Welles claimed that he watched Stagecoach 40 times while he was preparing to make the movie Citizen Kane. So he thought it was good enough. Stagecoach is correct. Made in 1939. A very young John Wayne. There you go. How about that? That's like a very famous Western. I'm surprised it isn't higher on the list. Okay, Sandra. Number 12. It all happens in almost real time. This one almost happens in real time. That's cool. Tick tock. A marshal faces down outlaws, and no one wants to help. The clock becomes the most suspenseful character. Now, the main actor, I want you to guess that too, stands alone as the train approaches. There you go. Yes. Sandra. That is correct. That is correct. Now, who's the actor? Who remembers the actor in that fine movie? And it sounds really cool, right? Almost real time. The train's approaching. It's high noon, where honor and fear go head to head. The film was seen as an allegory for McCarthyism, and John Wayne famously hated it. Oh, that's right. This was very political. Yeah, good question. Gary Cooper's correct. Good question. Don't know. You know, he was almost too good lucky not to be, right? Oh, well, Rock Hudson, right? He's famous for that. But Cooper did still win an Oscar for this, even though John Wayne hated it. So there you go. High noon. All right, number 11. All right, now I've seen this answer on the board already. He's wearing that cool hat again. But this time he's got a poncho. I think. A bounty hunter, a bandit, and a mystery man chase buried gold. One's gruff, one's sneaky, and one's cruel. And none are trustworthy. You can't trust a single one. A graveyard duel for the ages, complete with epic whistling. This is the one with the whistling. I wish I could whistle. I'd whistle it for you. It's not just a Western, it's a spaghetti opera. All right, there it is. So, King got it down the list a little bit. This is the good, the bad, and the ugly. The iconic score by Ennio Morricone is instantly recognizable, even if you've never seen the film. Yeah, we all know the little whistle tune, right? Hey, did you guys know I got in trouble for, we did a couple weeks ago, we did the, what was it, top TV series theme songs. And because I played a little clip from the theme songs, that video got axed. They haven't given me a strike yet. They don't like me playing little clips of music. So there you go. All right. Going down the list, number 10, top 10. A soldier goes west and finds peace instead of war. His journals, his journey, and all that earns a Lakota name. Bison hunts, cultural bridges, and one very photogenic wolf. That's the photogenic wolf. This was the actor's directorial debut, and it won very big at the Oscars. Everybody loved it. Yes, you guys know. Dr. King, Sandra. You are all correct. Who's the actor? Who's the actor? The Lakota dialogue in the film was translated by a real Lakota elder, making it one of the first major Hollywood films to feature the language prominently. Very good. I can't remember that. I couldn't understand a word they were saying. Yeah, this is Mr. Costner, of course. Kevin Costner dances with wolves. Wolves. 1990. There he is. Mr. Costner. All right, top 9. Here we go. I'm gonna give you the year 1959. 1959. This one's got something interesting in it. A sheriff, a drunk, a kid, and a cantankerous old man walk into a siege. Small town, big standoff, no one's calling for backup. Now, John Wayne plays cool while somebody else plays redemption. And this film was another Howard Hawks. And this was Howard Hawks' kind of copy or his answer to High Noon. More boots and more banter. All right. So this came after High Noon. No, Jimmy Kahn's not in it. Who's the guy in the middle? Or the guy on the right? Two famous names, two singers. So John Wayne on the left. And we still need to get the movie name too, incidentally. Incidentally. We're still working on what the movie's called. One of the top 20 westerns of all time. No Jerry Lewis. It's the other guy. Jerry's buddy. All right. Dean Martin. Yeah, Sandra. And Ricky Nelson. How about that? John Wayne, Dean Martin, and Ricky Nelson. 1959. All right, number 8. You know this one. Very recognizable. A one-eyed lawman with a grudge takes on a teenage client. Justice comes with a lot of bourbon and a bad attitude. John Wayne stumbles, grumbles, and shoots his way to Oscar gold. Now, I bet nobody knows the name. Who knows the name of the actress that played the teenage girl in this? Does anybody know? It's True Grit, and Rooster Cogburn has it in spades. That's right. I should have made you guess the Rooster Cogburn, huh? Nobody knows the actress's name that played the teenage co-star. Wayne wore an eye patch for his role and said winning the Oscar was partly due to finally playing a real son of a bitch. So it was important for him to play a real bad guy. Kim Garvey's a good guess. Good guess. Kind of looked like Kim Garvey. Mary Lou Retton kind of looked like Mary Lou Retton too. Her name was Maddie Ross. Maddie Ross, one of the toughest kids in Westerns. There you go. How about that? All right. Top 7. Let's do it. Let's do it. There are no good guys, just broken ones. A retired killer takes one last job for justice or vengeance. This, of course, is Clint Eastwood directing himself into Western legend. Morgan Freeman and Gene Hackman round out this brutal tale. All right, you guys know this one. King Doctor. Unforgiven dismantled the Western myth, and it won a Best Picture. Did you know that? And Eastwood dedicated the film to Sergio Leone, the spaghetti Western guy, and Don Siegel, his mentors in Western filmmaking. There you go. Unforgiven. What was, anybody remember Gene Hackman's character's name in this? It's kind of an interesting character name. Can't remember Morgan Freeman's character's name either, but I kind of remember Gene Hackman's character's name. Yeah, it won a lot of awards. Little Bill, right? Little Bill. Billy Joe. Was that Morgan? All right, top 6. Here we go. Now, this is another telling of the OK Corral, but it was in 1946. There's your first clue. Poetry, gunfights, and a town in need of taming. Wyatt Earp comes to Tombstone, but this isn't your typical shootout tale. Now, this was directed with grace and grit by the famous John Ford. John Ford of Western legend. Doc Holliday brings angst. Earp brings the law. It's an artful retelling of the OK Corral. Now, the film's title song became so synonymous with Westerns, it was later used in Bugs Bunny cartoons. All right, so anybody remember the actor's name on the left? Perhaps. Very old actor. Wasn't it Victor Moreau or something like that? Something like that. Anyway, this is My Darling Clementine. I knew you weren't going to get it. My Darling Clementine. Top 20, actually number 6 on the list of Westerns of all time. We're going to have to look up that song, right? It became synonymous with Westerns. It was later used in the Bugs Bunny cartoons. All right, top 5. Here we go. To John Wayne, 1956. A girl is kidnapped, and her uncle will stop at nothing to find her. Story as old as time. But what drives him? Love or hate? John Wayne plays his most complex character yet. Monument Valley never looked more iconic or ominous. Oh, you know, Doctor. Very good. This is a very famous Western, of course. And this one was maybe most famous for being the first one to really feature the landscape in Monument Valley, right? Filmmakers from Scorsese to Spielberg cite it as one of the most influential films ever made. Western or not? How about that? Did you hear that? Scorsese and Spielberg cite as one of the most influential films ever made. And yes, it's called The Searchers. Searchers, 1956. There it is. Although, you know, that picture looks a little bit more like Yosemite than Monument Valley. I'm just saying. I think it was bad coloration. Bad color. High praise indeed. Indeed. All right. Top 4. Here we go. Now, I have seen this name on the board. A harmonica, a train, and a revenge plan that was years in the making. This is 1968. Charles Bronson is silent. Henry Fonda is shockingly villainous. It is sweeping, it is slow, and it is operatic. It's Leone's Western epic. There you go, Sandra. You knew it was coming. The film opens with a 10-minute scene of waiting. That was exciting. Once upon a time in the West is correct, and it redefined epic storytelling in the genre. And once again, Ennio Morricone composed individual themes for each character before the filming began. So scenes were literally shot to music. I've been doing that lately with the AI music, right? I'm making the AI song, and then I try to make a little video to go to the song. So same thing, right? Kinda. Charles Bronson looking like a cowboy. There it is. Once upon a time in the West. All right. Top 3. Here we go. Top 3 Westerns of all time. Now, aging outlaws face a changing world and a pile of bullets. Honor, violence, and slow motion bloodbaths. So this is Sam Peckinpah. Sam Peckinpah's direction turned action into balletic chaos. It's not about good guys, it's about loyalty among killers. Cool. I have seen this movie, I remember it. It gave the Western a bloody, beautiful farewell. So this was at the end of like the Western period. 1969 is when they made this movie. Its brutal ending caused walkouts at early screenings, but it also inspired generations of action filmmakers. All right. So that's the McHale Navy guy in the back there. And the guy in the front, I can't remember his name. Old actor. Who remembers this? Anybody remember this? Top 3 Westerns of all time. Sam Peckinpah. Loyalty among killers. It's called The Wild Bunch. The Wild Bunch. Anybody remember that? The Wild Ernest Borgnine. Ernest Borgnine. Yeah, there it is. Wild Bunch. All right, top 2. You'll know these. I think. You'll know this one. Yeah, Wild Bunch. How about that? You have to watch that. 2 retired Texas Rangers take one last cattle drive north. This is one of my... I actually listened to this on a true book on tape. It's back with cassettes. When you were driving someplace and you have all those cassettes and they'd get stuck in your car stereo. I listened to this in a long drive. It's a mini-series, but don't let that fool you. This one's an epic. Woodrow and Gus become the ultimate odd couple cowboys. Friendship, loss, and grit carry this multi-part saga. Yeah, multi-part saga. Woodrow and Gus, Texas Rangers, 2 retired Texas Rangers. This show made TV Westerns feel cinematic. So, this became a miniseries, but it was a big hit book for a long time by Mr. Larry McMurtry. Anybody remember it now? Based on Larry McMurtry's Pulitzer-winning novel. It revived the Western genre on television with unprecedented scope. Oh, you're gonna kick yourself. Lonesome Dove. Lonesome Dove. Woodrow and Gus. All right, now we gotta go back in time for this one. So you may not get it just from an age standpoint, but this is the #1 Western of all time, so it's important to learn it. Okay? 1948. It's a Western without horses, but it is filled with moral decay. 3 men hunt for gold, and they find paranoia instead. Greed eats away at trust faster than any outlaw can. Now, it's a very famous actor there on the left. I'm going to try to make you guess that. He spirals into madness in the mountains. He gets like crazy. Gold fever. This movie proves the West was never just about shootouts. And this one is famous for the line, We don't need no stinking badges. We don't need no stinking badges. But it became one of the most misquoted in movie history. There you go. Oh, you got it. Stuart's in the house with the answer. Thank you, Stuart. And of course, the actor on the left is very famous actor, Mr. Yes, you are correct. The Treasure of Sierra Madre, 1948, the #1 top Western of all time, with Mr. Humphrey Bogart. Mr. Humphrey Bogart. All right, I do have another round, Stuart, so hang out. We're going to do a round on desserts here in a second, but I'm going to do an intermission lightning round first. So we're going to have another lightning round, and this one's going to be the Julia Roberts movies. So we did Julia Roberts movies, I don't know, a few weeks ago, a month ago, and let's see if you can remember them. You got 2 minutes to get 20 Julia Roberts movies, and I'll see you in 2 minutes. Alrighty. Well, once again, I think between the team, we got almost all of those. What was the last one? Anybody remember the last one? That's my favorite one. Flatliners. Yeah, King. Correct. All right, we're going to do one more round here. We're going to do favorite desserts. Kind of different. Of course, Western desserts. We're not going to dip into the Asian desserts, but we're going to do Western desserts. And the only difference here is I've sped it up the game. So we might only do like 3 clues and it goes a little quicker. So we'll see if you like that better or worse or whatever. So here we go. It's kind of easier, so we'll make it quicker. See how you do. Okay, now. You know the rules. The robots do the painting. You do the guessing, and I give the clues. But like I said, we're not going to give quite as many this time. Here we go. 20 favorite dessert dishes in Western culture. Starting with number 20. I gotta move fast. Here we go. It's the dessert your grandma swore by, and she served it warm or cold. It's creamy, nostalgic, and surprisingly divisive at potlucks. It often comes topped with a dash of cinnamon or a scattering of raisins. All right, who knows this one? Anybody know? It's made from grains, milk, and sugar. Not pecan pie, but hang on to that. What's it look like? Creamy, nostalgic, dessert your grandma swore by. No? I don't know if any of you guys have even had this. No, it's not a cobbler. Look at it. What is it? It's rice pudding. Rice pudding. Of course. I bet you get the rest of them. Okay, we had one hard one. Number 19. It's a study in contrast. This is one of my favorite desserts at fancy restaurants. It's a study in contrast, smooth and crunchy, rich and light. It comes with a sugar topping you have to break with a spoon. Fancy restaurants love to torch it at the table. There you go. King. You guys have all had a little creme brulee? A little creme brulee? Yes, the French classic with crispy caramelized crown. Creme brulee. Yeah, when I see it on the menu, we don't go out and eat very much these days, but back in the day, yummy stuff. This was very popular in my former home state of Utah. It jiggles, it wobbles, and kids adore it. It comes in neon colors and sometimes in terrifying retro molds. It can be sweet, wiggly, and suspiciously shiny. Suspiciously shiny. Yes, of course. Of course. This is a pretty good looking rendition of Jell-O. I don't think I've ever had any that really looked quite that good. It's usually just like one color. And there's some story about green Jell-O. What's the story on green Jell-O? Anybody remember? I don't know. Some story about green Jell-O. Don't know what it. I can't remember. All right, there it is, Jell-O. All right, 17. Here we go. A little faster. You notice? It's dark, dramatic, and definitely low-cal. Oh, I'm sorry, not low-cal. Whoops. Chocolate, cherries, and whipped cream stacked to the heavens. It's a German showstopper, often garnished with chocolate pearls. Now, a boozy cherry syrup often adds depth and a little kick. All right, what's this one? This is a certain type of cake. A certain type of cake. Dark dramatic. Chocolate cherries, whipped cream. German showstopper. Anybody know? We have this lady from Czechoslovakia that's a good friend, and she just made one of these recently for our grandson for his birthday. It is a Black Forest cake. Black Forest cake. 16. Here we go. It's sweet, it's tart, and it comes in a shockingly green hue. It originated in Florida, but it is devoured far beyond the Keys. The crust is usually graham cracker, the filling creamy lime. All right, gotcha. This one was pretty easy. It walks the line between refreshing and indulgent. Yeah, tasty. Pretty tasty. I've always liked it when I've had it. Yeah. I've had most of these, which I guess I've led a rich life. I've had most of the desserts. You could say you've lived life. It is a key lime pie, of course. You're correct. Key lime pie. All right, number 15. This one might be a little hard from the picture. Listen to the clues. It's fruit underneath, crunchy goodness on top. Warm spices meet buttery oats. It's comfort in a dish. It is best served hot with a scoop of ice cream. There you go. Some call it a crumble. Others call it crisp. Yeah, pretty decadent. Exactly. What I was thinking when I saw all these, I go, I think I've had almost all of those. Yeah, King. Correct. It's apple crisp or apple crumble. Called either one, apple crisp or apple crumble. Anybody have that? I don't think I've ever had that one. So there you go. I've had the vanilla ice cream though. I've had some of these. Number 14. Long, glossy, and filled with delicious secrets. These French pastries are both elegant and indulgent. They puff up when they're baked. They are typically stuffed with pastry cream and topped with chocolate. Yes, very good. Stuart, Doctor. Teddy Claire's, yes. There were these great Russian bakeries in San Francisco that we used to go to and score the eclairs. Yeah. Yep. Those were good. I lived in San Francisco in the city for about a year, and we lived near the Russian area town. Lots of nice bakeries. At 13, wasn't good for me. It's dense. This is one of my favorites. It's dense, buttery, and not afraid to be basic. A classic canvas for fruit, whipped cream, or glaze. It's traditionally made with a pound of each ingredient. All right, who knows what this one is? You've seen it at every potluck, church event, and afternoon tea. Very good, Sandra. Yeah. Dense, buttery, and basic. Pound cake. Yummy. That looks yummy. I'm getting hungry. Oh, number 12. I think we all know this one. Small but mighty, they're cakes, fun-sized cousin. Decorated, frosted, themed, or rainbow swirled. These are perfect for birthdays, bake sales, or late-night fridge raids. You eat them with your hands, but they feel fancy anyway. Yes. Very good. Those are some good-looking ones too. Am I right? Cupcakes. The world's most expensive cupcake was topped with diamonds and gold leaf. I can see that. Ridiculous. Cupcakes. All right. I'm getting hungry. Let's do number 11. Oh, this is another favorite. There we go. This one's built layer by layer, scoop by scoop, and drizzle by drizzle. Toppings range from nuts to cherries to whipped cream explosion. It's messy, it's fun, and always worth the brain freeze. Sometimes it's served in a dish, sometimes a tall glass. Look at that one. That is a perfect example, I would say. Yes, King, but that is spelled incorrectly. You have spelled the word incorrectly. Stuart has a very specific name for this one. This is an ice cream sundae. We'll just accept that ice cream sundae. It may be a hot fudge sundae. Not sure. It looks like a really good one. It looks like a Knickerbocker Glory. All right. Number 10, top pick. Another one of my favorites. I've had this a time or two. It's creamy, rich, and feels like a forkful of luxury. Sometimes it's topped with berries. Sometimes just pure decadence. It's often baked on a graham cracker or cookie crust. Now, New York claims the boldest version. It's definitely one of my favorites. Yes. Ding! They've named a whole restaurant chain after this one. Who's been to a Cheesecake Factory restaurant? You guys been to a Cheesecake Factory restaurant? Pretty good. They have a few versions of cheesecake there. All right, number 9. Here we go. Top 9. It's flaky, fruity, and practically patriotic. Often served with cheddar, whipped cream, or ice cream. Your call. It smells like autumn, and it tastes like nostalgia. The filling is usually spiced. The crust is golden. This is the classic here. This is the classic patriotic dessert. Kind of looks like a baklava. But this is simpler than that. It smells like autumn, and it tastes like nostalgia. As American as Sandra, apple pie. As American as apple pie. There you go. All right, number 8. Ooh, my gosh, another favorite. I have a lot of these favorites. Dense, chocolatey, occasionally gooey in the center. Found in lunchboxes, fake sales, and in breakup movies. I don't know what that means. It may include nuts. Sometimes it has frosting or swirls, but it's never disappointing. All right, so do you like the edge pieces or the middle pieces better? Edges are for crunchier lovers. Centers for the chewy crap. Are you an edge brownie or a center brownie? Fudge brownies is, of course, the correct answer. Or chocolate brownies. I like that too. Let's do it. Corners. Yes. Of course. Oh my goodness, brownies. There you go. I bet we've all had one or two of those. Special brownies. Well, that's for another show. Another show. Number 7. It's smooth, airy, and surprisingly intense. It is served chilled in glasses or tiny cups. They're just like edible clouds. It has French origins, but universal appeal. Yes. Yeah. You guys got it. It is a chocolate mousse. And it's looking pretty good in that picture, am I right? So once again, these pictures are brought to you by Grok. These are Grok. These are Grok creations. In case you were interested, they aren't even real photos. They're AI versions of dessert. They nailed it pretty well. Chocolate mousse. There you go. All right, top 6. Yeah, I'd say this is on my favorite list too. This is what I would, at Thanksgiving, this would be my choice. Some people would choose a different one. This would be my choice. It's sticky, sweet, and seriously southern. The top glistens with caramelized nuts. It's almost too rich. Almost too rich. It's usually served around Thanksgiving, but no one complains if it shows up early. All right, so Go would prefer the pumpkin pie. Stuart is also a pumpkin pie person, but like Sandra, I'm a pecan pie person. Yes. So, are you a pumpkin person or a pecan person? I definitely always pick the pecan pie if I have a choice. Usually there's a choice at Thanksgiving. Yeah, pecan pie looks pretty good. Okay, top 5. Top 5 desserts coming at you. Tart, fluffy, and photogenic. It's got layers, zesty curd, buttery crust, and cloud-like topping. The meringue is toasted just enough to impress your guests. A little slice can wake up your whole palate. It's zingy. It's not a cheesecake. We had the cheesecake though. You missed the cheesecake. Go. Go, go. Lemon meringue pie. Lemon meringue pie is correct, son. Sandra seems to know her desserts. Its origins trace back to the 18th century Europe. There you go. Lemon meringue pie. Top 4 desserts. Western tradition. They come in rings, twists, holes, and jelly-filled surprises. From cops in sitcoms to gourmet bakeries, they're universal. They are deep-fried joy. Sometimes they're topped with sprinkles. I like the old-fashioned, right? You guys like old-fashioned? Glazed, frosted, or powdered. They're always tempting. Yes. Those are some basic, in the picture it looks like we got some real basic glazed ones there, right? I don't know what's in the cup back there. It looks pretty good though too. It looks like made like a chocolate malt. I don't know if that goes with the donuts or not. How about you guys like old-fashioned? I like old-fashioned. All right, top 3. Here we go. Now, this is pretty good. This one's actually healthy. Depending on how you make it. Vegetables? Check. Sugar? Double check. Spiced, moist, and always topped with cream cheese frosting. Oh, yeah? Usually topped with cream cheese frosting. It's the sneakiest way to feel healthy while indulging. It often includes walnuts, raisins, or pineapple for extra flair. You are correct, King. This is the healthy dessert. Although that piece that we're looking at, I would question how healthy that one is. Carrot cake is of course correct. That one doesn't look that healthy. I don't know. Looks like it's got quite a bit of frosting. Cream cheese. Cream cheese frosting. So there's that. Okay. Top two desserts. And I would say I've had a few of these. In fact, I had one of these right before the show started. Little little sugar. Little sugar to get the show done. It's crispy on the edge, it's chewy in the middle. It's perfection in a circle. Not always a perfect circle. Kids can make them. Grandmas perfect them. They do. And nobody ever says no. They pair best with milk. Or just eat the dough straight out of the bowl before they're cooked. They were actually created by accident in a Massachusetts inn. There you go, a little history. What kind of cookie? What kind of cookie? What kind of cookie? There's really only one real cookie. The chocolate chip cookie, of course. Chocolate chip. Yes. Top dessert. Anybody guess? It's the final boss. It's dark, it's rich, and layered like drama. You can frost it, you can fill it, or just fork it straight from the pan. A birthday with party without it feels weird. It's the queen of cakes. There you go. Dodo, I think I'm gonna give it to you. Chocolate cake. Simple answer. Looks like a good one too. I would take a bite out of that right now. So go grok. Go grok. All right. Well, so okay. So I do need your input on this. So did you notice that was quicker? The round. That it was a lot quicker. It was less clues, and you only had like 60 seconds total to get each item, versus usually we have about 110 seconds, I think, to get the answers. 100 seconds. Usually we have about 100 seconds, and this time we only had 60 seconds. And usually we have 5 clues, and this time we had more or less 3 clues. So do you like one better than the other, or do you like it kind of mixed, where when it's easy like this, maybe it's quicker, and when it's harder, it's a little longer? What do you guys think? Any opinions on the matter? Any opinions on the matter? Okay. And if you missed the intro, the new intro for the show, you're gonna have to go back and check that out, because that was pretty cool. Now let's see. I gotta talk about some housekeeping here too. So I'm looking for answers on the length, and I am going to tell you that we are going to not have a show for 2 weeks. I will be back to see you again 2 weeks from tonight. 2 weeks from tonight, we will do Sunday, 9:14 live trivia. And I will be on vacay in sunny Southern California, going to a family wedding, playing some golf, going to the beach, doing all the usual things back where I grew up as a small child, South Orange County, California. Be staying in Dana Point and San Juan Capistrano, and it'll be a lot of fun. But anyway, so I will see you again on the 14th. And then on Wednesday that week, we're going to have a slightly different format. We'll probably still have a trivia round, but we'll have some other rounds too. So we'll see how that goes and see if you like that. So yes, what you said, I see that. So sometimes quicker, but it's real easy, is cool. And otherwise, kind of the longer format's probably better. I guess, and if you have something else to say about it, feel free to send me a note or to add a comment to this video. And thank you all, as usual, for coming. I will play a compilation video on the way out of here and wish you guys all a good evening and a good couple weeks. And we'll see you then, hopefully.
bar's the place I call my home. I sip the swallow pride, pretend the moonlight lights by my side. Tell me, was it ever real, or just a song you used to feel? I still burn. I still ache. I still whisper your name when I break. In this velvet room where memories bloom, I still wait for a shadow to take shape.